So here is how to give a toast or have deep thoughts. Right? Like if you've ever wanted to have deep thoughts, let's say that you're at a meal or a wedding or some sort of event or a gathering of friends, and you want to say something meaningful and profound. You want to look at sort of what is happening in the most depersonalized way, but know your personal anecdotal stories, right? Like describe your experience of this depersonalized thing, right? So you're making it ultimately like very personal, but the backdrop to which you share those personal stories, you need to look at it in that most general of ways, right? One like flex, like the main move that you can do to do this is to shift to the standpoint of looking at it from what everyone's body water is doing, right? Like a person's body water is kind of their most depersonalized essence. The water in everybody is the same. The water in everybody is the same, and that same water in everybody is supporting the different variations in body chemistry, right? The different types of person. But if you were to look at it and you see that, okay, the water is there and the water has gathered together, right? And then you go, oh, the water is gathered together. The water could be an analog or a stand-in or a connection to the idea of mind, right? Or the person, the people, like the real people, the essence, the who they are underneath their idiosyncrasies. You're looking at that's the most abstract generalized thing, and so you look at what is it doing, right? Oh, it's here for a meal, or it's here for a wedding, or let's say you're giving a lecture or a talk, or you're in a classroom. It's here. What is all that water here for? What is it trying to experience? Right, or like if you're at a funeral. So let's just keep it to a meal, maybe, like you're giving a toast or a meal or like a wedding. We'll keep it to like a wedding feast. So you're looking at what is drawing that together, what's the common unity in the room, what's causing all that water to come together as one body, as one group. So then you could talk about that, right? And then try and find an example of that, some sort of connection that you have to the other people, or something that drew you both together, right? If it's a wedding, you could talk about how these two people or their bond drew you there to that place, and then that'll elicit in everybody else there, they also have something that drew them there to those people. Those people were special to them in some way, and that specialness is the magnetic attraction that's causing the body, mind, or the water to kind of like come together. Or you could talk about where did the water come from? Where did this mind come from? How did everybody get here? What was the origin? People will find the origin of that look at it in the most abstract way, and the origin of that will be extremely interesting, right? Then you can talk about the origin of that with a personal anecdote. Within the canvas of the abstract. And so the personal anecdote within the canvas of the abstract is the symbolic icon, so to speak. So if you want to say anything profound or meaningful, you're creating an icon linguistically. which is like a symbol image picture sort of thing that elicits an experience, like a simple shared experience, right? And that simple shared experience, it's very simple. You would go, oh, this body, this water, this abstract essence is attracted to that abstract essence. There is an attraction. There is a very simple force there, right? So that simple force, even though it's very elaborate, like if you were to look at it from just the anecdotal story, it's a long story. The story, to see that simple force there's a long story with the beginning and origin of each character, their actions, like what led them together. It's a big, long narrative, right? And you could go into scientifically what led to what, led to what. But the profundity, or the symbol, the spiritually abstract deep thing, right, it's just the attraction. And that can be described in like 2 or 3 words, or like a picture with a plus and a minus, and then lines between them, and you go, oh, those 2 things are attracted. And boom, you've summarized the entirety of what's going on right there that you would have normally said with a story. Or some sort of science. So you can talk about the attractive force in general. You could talk about the origin. You could talk about where everything is coming from, right? So that's just the waves on any side of it. And you could talk about where it seems to be headed. People are interested in that. What things are, what things were, and where things are going is like what you're going to be talking about if you're trying to like say anything profound. And so the profundity comes from creating these sort of symbol pictures, and it's linguistically, that's done from weaving a thread back and forth between the abstract and the generalized and the platonic to the completely idiosyncratic specific. Yeah, that's about it. So that whole thing just shift to like mind, shift to awareness. And if you go, well, what does he mean by that? Just imagine the water in everybody, right? Imagine that container of being holding their life force, and how that container of being is present in everybody, and it's gathered there, and it's the exact same presence that you feel around your sense perception, and your experience is the exact same presence that all the people there also feel around their sense thing and their sense experience. And so then if you drop into that presence, not your presence, but that shared presence, that unified presence, then you're going to be saying or doing or thinking profound things. Putting things together, because people have like various ideas of what's going on, and then if you speak the simplicity of the moment, whatever it is that they're thinking shatters, and you go, and then that's when everyone goes cheers, right? Cheers is when somebody makes a tone or vibration that shatters the illusion in the space, which is covering up the shared presence, right? So anytime somebody reveals the shared presence, you say cheers, or you say amen or something like that. And so easy peasy, right?